So I'm 26 years old. I've lived in Yarra my entire life. It's a very small town. I'm not sure if you've noticed. We are an hour away from the nearest place that sells physical video games, thank God for online shipping in the recent years, and we are 3 hours away from Melbourne. So, as someone growing up in a small town like this where sport is king, loving video games put me on a bit of an out. I did not have many friends. I did not get a lot of opportunities. I was small, I was pudgy, I was playing video games most of my day, and I was online for most of that time as well. And being online, I soon discovered there were people like me all over the world with all different viewpoints, all different backgrounds, identities, but we all loved games. And so through this, I met so many people, and I have, as a result, gotten so many opportunities. I am a journalist, mainly working for one of Australia's largest video game outlets, both a TV show and an online site, Player Attack, as well as contributing to other places. I am co-owner, writer, narrative designer, social media, whatever I am needed for at the time, of international art group Ghost Fruits. And I am also managing the local Guts of Gippsland website, another opportunity I've got because I spend so much time online that I know online things now. Also, if you're new to the area, you take any photos, throw them up with the hashtag Guts of Gippsland, perhaps. We would love to see them. A little bit of self-promotion there as well. So anyway, one of the communities I got into was for a game called Battleborn. It was not hugely successful at all, unfortunately, but it had a small community, and this community was, again, all over the world. Everyone was dedicated, and every year they would put together a different project. This was one of them. They got a bunch of individuals to each draw one of these characters, and this is nothing sort of unique, but the runner of this project was a girl named Nima. And Nima and the community were all so passionate, and towards the end of this project, earlier this month, tragedy struck and Nima was killed in a house fire. I never knew her personally, but as a part of this community, I found out about this because I knew so many people that knew her and who influenced everyone there. And as a result, this project was finished and dedicated to her. And as well as that, the company themselves got behind and shared this project, the game company themselves. And more importantly, a GoFundMe was set up by these people to support Nima's parents. And this is just one example of a small community in video games that do this sort of thing. And on a larger scale, charities have been set up. Charities for gamers, Take This and Checkpoint, for mental health and gamers community. Child's Play, set up to give games to sick kids in hospitals by gamers. And the other one, Awesome Games Done Quick, Desert Bus for Hope. They play games. They will play games for 24-hour periods over the course of a week or so, pick a charity every year, and just dedicate all their time and all their donations, and they will raise thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars, just by playing games. It's not just sitting in your bedroom. It's not just wasting time if you know how to make the most of it. And community is the important takeaway out of this. Community exists in all aspects of life, and gaming is no different. I meant to go to that next slide anyway, so we're all good. A few examples of this. I can go back to the 90s. One image you may recognize there is from Doom, one of the quintessential 90s games that even non-gamers played, caused a heck of a ruckus when it came about, like, oh, look how violent this game is, look at how bloody and gory. But what people didn't see is behind the scenes, there were forums set up, there were people creating new levels for these games. They were called mods. They were creating new levels, new characters, new weapons, new stories, even modes where you befriended the demons. There's a particular one that I love where you go around making friends with each demon and finding out their backstory and that they're all little individual people. It's very cute. But these mods were being created, and this community was supporting that creation. And that is the story you never hear on the news. These people usually went on to become game designers themselves, whether for a big company or just their own small games, because of the help they received from that community. Because of the support they received from these communities, they developed new skills, new friends, and new opportunities. And that extends even today to games like Minecraft. That up the top there is a Minecraft creation. There are huge organizations supporting kids, supporting adults to create artworks, to create replicas of cities and buildings, all through this game. Fortnite, the current huge game that everyone is playing. Even that, there are John Green, the author, some of you may be familiar with, he played the game recently purely as a pacifist, and this method of playing the game has been adopted by players everywhere, and they're trying to figure out, how can we do this violent game as a pacifist? People everywhere are looking at games and saying, how can I play this differently? How can I play this in a way it wasn't intended to be played? How can I talk to the community, and how can we all create something that can be enjoyed and played? And one of my favorite examples also, this in the corner, it's from a little game called VR Chat. It's essentially a huge chat room. And this cat was played by an 8-year-old kid. And he would go in there, and essentially he developed this entire cult of personality. And all of these people who had no idea they were being filmed were now following and supporting him. Anything this kid wanted to do, they would all jump on board. And that's one of the things a lot of people also don't see. There's so much support for kids in this community as well. People love just supporting each other, even whether it's creation or whether it's any aspect at all. I'm not a programmer. I'm very bad with code. I'm not an artist. But I was supported with my writing because I began writing stories. I began writing out ideas. And that led to my employment. There is something for everyone in the gaming community, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. There are so many skills, there are so many ideas. Even just if you don't have anything, even if you just want to be casual, there are so many friends to be made. And I think that's one of the most essential points. Friendship, community, friends for people like me who otherwise don't get those opportunities living in such a small town. I've learned so much about the world. I've learned so much about identities, all through video games, just sitting at home playing games because I had very little else in the way of support or in the way of anything, because that's what nerdy little kids in small country towns get. So, what's the takeaway from all this is, I suppose, the big question. I'm sure all of you know someone, whether it's siblings, kids, nephews, yourself even. What can you do to support people like me who want to get into this industry or just who need that support? The biggest thing is to learn about it. Whether it's asking the person themselves or even just sitting down, reading Wikipedia, watching trailers on YouTube, understanding what the game is about, understanding what the community is about. So engage in that. Even if you're absolutely crap at video games, there is a game for everyone. Maybe you won't find it yourself, but you might get something out of trying and understanding, I don't like this, but I can understand how other people would. So using that, you can sort of rethink your ideas on video games. How are games different from other media? Why is there this stigma? Why is the news constantly going on about violence when in reality there's so much more that we don't see, that they will not tell you about, and yet once you look into the gamer community, all you see is support, which is all there is toxic communities. You cannot have any community without toxicity, unfortunately, but that sort of becomes the point of you can steer yourself away. The block button exists on the internet. That's why it's so magical. That's why I love it. And it goes unused when it shouldn't. You have the ability and the power to surround yourself with positivity for any community if you just push the negativity out of your mind. So the support comes in, what is this person that you're trying to communicate with, what are they interested in most? What are they getting out of these games? Are they getting stories? Are they getting just enjoyment? Are they having fun? Is it something they want to create or something they want to be involved in creating? Or is it something they just want to talk about, like me? All I want to do is talk about video games, and now that's what I do for a job. I just shout at video games on the internet for ages, and people listen. It's a real thing that exists, and that's why it's awesome. So in the end, it's just go home, look at games in a different light, look at the communities in a different light, look at these people that love these games in a different light, and understand there's something for absolutely everyone, regardless of who you are, and just play a game, have fun. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. That's why games are created, have fun. Thank you.
The Hero Roundtables are the global events that ask the question, what is a hero? You've just seen one hero talk. To find more and join the conversation, visit our website or social media.